over, alright? How could I have killed Snake all by myself? Not Snake. It was Guy X. I don't care who it was. You said the killer put this other man into door 3, right? Yeah, maybe. Then I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I couldn't have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X. Nope, you could have. Huh?
Huh? Everybody's all like, what?
What?
Ace's face was tight and his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed him with a level stare. The trap was about to close.
Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you. Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep in the big hospital room? Yeah, back then. I took this.
Junpei put his hand into his pocket.
No, you couldn't have!
Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled.
I got you, Ace. Your right hand there tells me all I needed to know. You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket? It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X, and the 9th man's bracelet. That was all you needed to open door 3. That's how you killed Guy X, all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in your chest pocket.
Ace lowered his hand from where it had stopped, halfway to his pocket. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Junpei. All he could see was the corner of Ace's mouth twitching like a dying fish. If you want to play innocent, that's fine by me. Go ahead, tell me I don't have the bracelet if that's what you want to do. But if you could take off your coat and hand it to me, I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll have to take it from you by force. Right, Seven? Yeah. It'd be my pleasure. Seven cracked his knuckles with a sound like gunfire. Ace roared with laughter. Get it? Roar, because he looks like a lion. He threw his arms wide and his head back and laughed, filling the room with a sound that scarcely belonged there. Then it stopped. His arms came down and his head dropped to look straight ahead at Junpei. Thank you. I go a bit overboard with those laughs sometimes, though. I go like for 5 hours instead of the original length of laugh. His face was flat and cold, devoid of any emotion. Holy shit, look at his face.
Well done, Junpei. As you so correctly deduced, I have the number 9 bracelet. I retrieved it while we were searching for the missing hardware for the red. I left the room I was supposed to search and headed to the first-class cabin on B deck.
His voice showed no emotion, no sense of remorse or interest. It was almost bored, as though he were reciting an especially dull corporate letter.
My purpose was to obtain the number 9 bracelet. 9 is a potent ally in the nonary game. Adding 9 to any set of numbers won't alter the digital root.
He's gonna do the math right now, as you can see.
As you can see, 9's a very useful number here. With it, one can go anywhere, with anyone. So I made for the first-class cabin to obtain it.
He has special eyes. Ace successfully acquired the number 9 bracelet. He also found an unexpected bonus, the knife the 9th man had been holding. He slipped both of them into his chest pocket and left as quickly as he'd come. He walked down the stairs and headed back to where he was supposed to be. That was when he met Guy X and mistook him for Snake. Snake was on his way to the large hospital room and had not noticed Ace behind him. Ace made sure it stayed that way. He followed the man wearing Snake's clothes to door 3. When the man stopped, he walked up behind him quietly and called out, "Snake." The man turned to look at Ace. He said nothing. No words came out of his half-open mouth. He seemed dazed somehow, almost like a man half asleep, Perhaps he had been drugged? It didn't matter to Ace. Ace was certain the man was Snake. He knew Snake had been a part of the nonary game 9 years before. Snake hadn't recognized Ace immediately, but he was blind. That much made sense. Why, then, hadn't Snake said anything to him? Surely he hadn't forgotten what had happened to him in the nonary game, but not once had he attempted to confront Ace. Perhaps his lack of sight had prevented him from recognizing Ace. Or perhaps Snake had conspired with Zero to deceive Ace. In either event, he was a threat, and it was better to deal with him sooner rather than later. Ace's mind was made up. He moved. He held the number 9 bracelet over the red. He waved his own bracelet in front of the red and finally grabbed Snake's arm and shoved his hand against the scanner panel. The door opened. Ace threw the man through it. 9 seconds later, the door shut. "81 seconds passed. The man inside the door passed away.
After that, I returned to my post as though nothing had happened. After conducting my own search, I returned to the large hospital room where the 1 a.m. bell rang.
Ace's eyes were cold and his cheeks were hollow and pallid. When he spoke, only his lips and tongue moved. The rest of his face was eerily still. Junpei glared at Ace. He took a deep breath and thought about the next question he had to ask. He didn't want to. He knew what the answer would be. He just didn't want to hear it. Junpei swallowed, then spoke.
Ace,
"Did you kill Clover?"
yes.
"Why? Why did you kill her?"
She was Snake's sister. It was possible he had told her something dangerous. Additionally, she had gone through door 1. It seemed likely she might have found it.
"Found what?"
Why don't you go through door 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere.
Seven and Lotus interrupted.
Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door 1 too.
"We didn't see anything suspicious."
Yes, I thought as much after I heard your report at the central stairs. I doubt the two of you could find it. But perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was, therefore, desperate to find her, and at last I did in the first-class cabin. I spoke very calmly. Did you see it?
"See what?"
Don't act as if you don't understand. You were in the captain's quarters, weren't you?
Huh? What are you talking about?
Very well. By the way, what are you doing here, Clover?
What? Nothing.
There's blood on your shoes. Looks fresh. Did you go take a look at the 9th man's corpse? I see. Your silence suggests that you noticed. You saw something, didn't you? You saw that his bracelet was gone.
Clover ran. She made for the exit, but Ace stood in her way.
You aren't going anywhere.
He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her to the floor hard. She leapt back up and darted past him into the hallway. Ace followed at a run. He was faster. Oh no. Poor Clover.
That was how I killed Clover.
His face hadn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse or anything one might feel after taking the life of another human being, it didn't show.
You son of a bitch!
Seven's whole body trembled with rage, and his voice rumbled with hate. Santa's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus and June's faces were distorted by anger and hatred. Ace looked at them and smiled. It was a cold, cruel thing with no humor in it. He shook his head and sighed.
I admit it. I've lost. I have lost, completely and utterly. But don't misunderstand, Junpei. I don't lose to you. I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero, not you. I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such a simple trap. And it was a trap, make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room. If he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was. But he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence. He had also been injected with something that reduced
Yep, nailed it!
with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything.
Suddenly, Junpei remembered the paper he'd found in the safe. He remembered the last words Zero had written on it. I must punish them. For the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved, I now state the truth. 0. And he remembered other words. Words he'd heard from Clover. I think 0 is one of us. One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace, Santa, June, 7, Lotus. 0 is one of us. No, Junpei paused. There was one more person. Snake. It was clear now that the man who died in the shower room was not Snake. That meant that Snake was almost certainly still alive. Perhaps Snake was 0. Perhaps Snake had made Guy X wear his clothes so that he would appear to be dead. Where was Snake now? Perhaps he was somewhere laughing at them. If he was 0, surely he'd lied about many other things. Was he watching them?
Well, I believe I've finished with my confession. Why don't we get moving?
He sounded as if he'd just finished doing nothing more exciting than describing the weather. For Santa, it was the last straw.
What the hell is this shit? You aren't going anywhere, you son of a bitch! We're gonna leave your ass here to rot! Why? Because I killed Clover? That's ridiculous. Why are you so upset that I killed the little bitch? She was nothing to you. A stranger you only met a few hours ago. Am I wrong? You bastard!
7 roared and lifted a fist that would likely have shattered Ace's jaw, but someone else was faster. It was Lotus. She stepped toward Ace, raised a fist of her own, and drove it straight into his nose.
You've got some fire, don't you? I confess I rather like a tough woman.
He sniffed and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose with a raised eyebrow. Well, maybe you'd like another one, then.
Before that, let me give you one of my own.
Huh? Lotus scarcely had time to blink. Ace snaked his arm around her and pulled Lotus's back up against him. In the same motion, he reached into his coat pocket. Oh my god. It was a gun. The revolver. How did he get that? Almost lazily, he tilted it to point at Lotus's head.
If any of you so much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull this trigger. I've already killed 3 people. Don't think I'm not ready to make it 4.
3 people? What do you mean?
Very well. Let me take this opportunity to illuminate you. The person who killed the 9th man was me. Although I suppose to be more accurate, I encouraged him to get himself killed. While we were examining the main staircase, he came to me and told me his name. I recognized it at once. So I gave him a little push. Just a little white lie. It seems the settings for the dead were altered. Now it only requires a single person to deactivate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's beyond door 5. We'll meet again later. Okay. Have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then. Shit! Why isn't it stopping? God damn it! You lied! Open the door! Please! I'm begging you! Help me! Please, get me out of here! Get me out of here! Oh my god, there's no time left. Listen! I was lied to! He lied to me! He put me in here! It was him! He killed me! It was him! Gah!
Explode.
I had 4 reasons for killing him. 1. As I said before in the nonary game, the number 9 bracelet is of the utmost importance. If I had allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he, or it, would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he should be eliminated early on. 2. I wanted the number 9 bracelet. If I could manage to obtain it, I would be able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. I'd be unable to acquire the bracelet unless its owner was dead. 3. Even setting aside his number, he would have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened here 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminate him before he was able to disseminate the information. 4. Lastly, I wished to conduct a simple test. A test to see if this notary game was serious or a poor attempt at a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so that I might observe the outcome.
Junpei glared at him.
I don't get your third motive. What the hell happened 9 years ago? Didn't I say? The notary game was played. I planned it out, and I conducted its execution. Why? What on earth was it supposed to do? I don't really think I have any obligation to tell you that.
Ace smirked. He was trying to provoke them, and it was working. Although Ace had paid very little attention to Lotus after catching her, the gun had never wavered from her temple. She looked quite pale, and when she spoke, her voice shook. Hey, what's with this gun? Where did he get this?
Why didn't you tell her, Santa?
Santa ground his teeth and glared at Ace.
On the other side of door 6. We found the gun in the coffin in the cargo room, right? The bastard must have grabbed it when we weren't looking. Indeed I did. That was a pretty serious mistake, you know. Just saying, you intended to leave it behind.
Ace laughed, a short, derisive snort, and gave Junpei a sickeningly pitying look. Sickingly? Sickingly's not a word. What? They mean sickeningly, right? I don't know.
Well, there isn't much time left. I'll be off then.
Where are you going?
Do I really need to explain? I had assumed it would be obvious. I have the number 9 bracelet, and now I have Lotus. Wasn't there a door with a 9 on it in the room that looked like a church? That's where you're going, isn't it? And how do you know that? Santa told me about it while we were looking for Clover. I see. Well, you are correct. That is my destination, but now I must say goodbye. Goodbye to all of you. Ah, and please don't forget my warning. Move and I'll pull the trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know.
As he spoke, Ace began backing toward the door, practically dragging Lotus behind him. Junpei, Santa, June, and Seven stood frozen. Ace had the face of a man gone mad. They had no doubt he would pull the trigger. Ace had reached the exit. He forced Lotus to open it, then turned and addressed them once more.
Goodbye.
Then he stepped through the door. Well, it fell shut. In the blink of an eye, they were gone. As soon as Ace and Lotus were gone, Junpei and the others leapt for the door in pursuit of Ace. But as Junpei laid his hand on the doorknob, there was a noise behind him. He looked over his shoulder. June was kneeling on the floor, breathing heavily.
Hey! June, what happened? You alright?
Santa ran to June and wrapped his arm around her before she could collapse all the way.
Jesus, you're burning up! Your fever's back. Are you okay?
June's fever had returned, again for no apparent reason. Her eyes were watery and her eyelids drooped. Her breath came in dry, dry, shallow gasps. I'm okay. Really, I'm fine. You should be worrying about Lotus. She was breathing hard now, and she could barely summon the strength to talk. Junpei was torn. He couldn't leave June alone in the state she was in. But every moment they waited, Ace was farther away, Lotus's life in his hands. What was Junpei supposed to do? June's eyes drifted to Junpei's. She managed to muster a weak smile. Junpei, don't worry about me. I just need a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I just needed to rest a little bit last time. So, please save Lotus.
Think about what Ace has already done, Junpei. When he's got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's gonna let her live? Sorry, just walk away. Same thing. God damn it! You guys go on ahead. As soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go!
Junpei looked at June. She nodded once. She couldn't manage much more. But it was all the confirmation Junpei needed. His resolve was set.
Alright. Come on, Seven. We're going after Ace. Hell yeah! Santa, you take good care of June. I'm trusting you.
Santa nodded. Junpei turned before he had a chance to change his mind and started running toward the door. He could hear Seven's heavy footsteps behind him.
Let's go!
Junpei and Seven exploded into the hallway. Don't explode, there's enough of that going on. Their feet pounding the metal floor as they ran. they must describe it. Spaghetti! Junpei and Seven had finally arrived at the church, exhausted and out of breath. As their lungs struggled to catch their breath, their eyes frantically scanned the room. No sign of Ace or Lotus.
You think they already went through?
He reached up to wipe a palm full of sweat from his brow.
Maybe.
Even as he spoke, Junpei was already on his way to the larger of the number 9 doors. He looked at the red. The display panel read vacant. He spun around and headed toward the smaller door. This red would tell him if Ace and Lotus had moved to another room. Engaged. It's occupied.
That means Ace and Lotus went through here. Yeah, it seems like it.
Junpei and Seven stepped away from the door. They retreated to the center of the room and began to talk.
What do we do now?
Yeah, what should we do?
Well, the big door's still vacant, but the two of us can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
First of all, our digital route's not 9.
Just then, as they were pondering what to do next... Oh. There was a noise. A noise like someone hitting a thick wooden panel. Junpei looked up, surprised. Seven followed suit, his eyes jumping around the room looking for the source of the sound. It wasn't long before they found the altar. Or more precisely, what was on it.
The coffin. Yeah. Let's open it. How? By force. I don't think that's gonna happen. Well, you never know till you try, right? The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures. Who said that? I forget. Anyway, we've got to try.
Junpei and Seven leapt at the coffin. They grabbed hold of what purchase they could find and pulled. Pulling noises.
Damn it! See, didn't I tell you? If you could just pull it open, why would it have something like that?
Seven pointed at a keypad on the other side of the coffin.
Right, so unless I put in the right passcode, it's not gonna happen.
The noise hadn't stopped. In fact, as it continued, it only had gotten louder and more forceful. What were they supposed to do, Junpei wondered. Was there some sort of clue somewhere? They stood there for a few moments, staring at the coffin, and then Seven spoke.
Hey, Junpei. I remember you mumbling about some weird numbers over by the bathroom in the first-class cabin. You got those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Truth had gone or something like that?
Yeah, that's right.
What about it? Well, maybe that number's the passcode for this thing, too. Come on, that's impossible. Those numbers were the code to unlock that safe. Yeah, but the person who set up that safe in this coffin is the same person, right? Zero set up both of these.
Yeah, probably.
Well, then they might have set the same passcode for both of them.
That's ridiculous.
Why don't you just try it? I mean, it's not like you'll make things any worse. It'd be just a waste of time. There's no way they're the same number. How do you know that? You never know until you try. The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures. Who said that? You?
Ugh, fine. He knelt down in front of the keypad and looked at it. You've got nothing to lose, Junpei. Perhaps because he'd repeated them so many times before, the numbers came easily to Junpei's mind. 14383421. Quickly, he typed them in. 3421. Is it gonna work? Huh? He checked that he'd entered the right numbers, took a deep breath, and pressed the E button. It only took a moment. What's in the coffin? What do you think is in there? It's probably the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, yeah. What? You've got to be kidding me.
There was a click. And with a heavy clunk, the lid of the coffin slid off onto the floor. Someone set up from inside. Sat up, not set up. They set up shop.
Snake! You... why?
Good morning, Snake. Did you have a good nap?
Ah, those voices. Junpei and Seven, unless I'm mistaken. Where are the others? Are they elsewhere?
Of course, there was no reason Snake would have known anything about where anyone else would be. Junpei and Seven looked at one another. There was a great deal he needed to know, but... They had to tell him something, however, so they began to talk. Snake explained to them how he came to be locked in the coffin. Apparently he'd been hit with some sort of knockout gas, and Junpei and Seven explained what had happened to the rest of them. There was one thing, however, that neither Seven nor Junpei could bring themselves to say. That Ace had killed Clover. They feared that if Snake knew, he might well go insane. They decided as much by a look the moment Snake had climbed out of the coffin. Snake's story explained frustratingly little. Zero's true identity was a mystery, as were his intentions. Why had Zero put Guy X in Snake's clothes? If Zero had left a note for them to say the nonary game had been played 9 years before, was there some connection? Junpei put the question to Snake. His answer was less than illuminating.
What are you talking about? I apologize, but I have no idea what you're saying.
It seemed as though Snake was perhaps not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei and Seven little good. No matter how many times they asked, he insisted that he knew nothing. It was becoming clear that Snake wouldn't give in. Every second they spent asking him was a second wasted. Their time limit was fast approaching. Snake's release from the coffin had changed nothing. They still needed to follow Ace as quickly as possible. However, they stood in silence, the overpowering atmosphere of the chapel almost stifling. Junpei, Seven, and Snake simply stood at a loss for what they should do next.
What do we do now?
He glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the 2 on the bracelet on Snake's wrist. Said that twice.
The 3 of us can't make a digital root of 9. Yeah, we'd just get 5. We're stuck here then. Oh, hey, I just remembered something.
Seven began patting his pockets as if he were checking to see if any of them held anything.
What? What is it? I found something earlier. What'd you find? This?
He'd finally found the pocket he wanted and his hand dove into it. Seven pulled out something round and metal. A bracelet. There was no mistaking the number glowing at them from the face like a cartoon eye. 0.
Zero's bracelet. What the hell? Are you saying that 7 has the number 0 bracelet? Yeah. Where did you get that?
Snake's question was innocent enough, but if he learned the truth, if he'd been able to see, he would have noticed Seven look away.
Clover gave it to me. She did? Yeah. How did she come by it? Well, she found it, see? On the other side of door 1, A deck, in the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it, because it was too big and bulky for her to be lugging around. Lugging.
It was a lie, and Junpei knew it.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing. Alright, Junpei. Been nice knowing you. What?
Hold on, guys. I gotta let Snowy out. Okay.
Come on, man. I'm just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure the 0 bracelet gets picked up by the red. Snake, give me a hand, alright?
Without waiting for a response, he started walking toward the door. Junpei and Snake followed him quietly. Before long, they found themselves in front of the larger of the 2 doors. Seven and Snake put their palms on the red. Once they'd done that, Seven put the number 0 bracelet on the scanner panel as well. Derp, derp, derp. A third asterisk appeared on the screen. Now they just needed to pull the lever and the door would open.
Huh? Why isn't it opening? Well, the third asterisk lit up, so it must have registered the 0 bracelet. Maybe it isn't actually 0. Huh? What? That bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That is what I'm saying. Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we can determine... Oops, it's Snake. Haha. Perhaps we can determine what number that bracelet actually contains.
Junpei nodded. They decided to use the following combination. What do you think? What think ye? Oh, it's 6:24 already. Jeez. I'm supposed to be finishing this game. We're not even on the second part of the ending yet. Middle one? Junpei and 7 and the mysterious bracelet. If that combination worked, then the mysterious bracelet's number was 6. I know it is. That's the thing. That's why I'm already kind of like, oh my gosh. That's why I was like, whoa, it's already 6:30 and we're still on this ending.
It opened. Yes, so it would seem.
7 clearly hadn't thought their experimentation would produce anything useful and looked rather confused. Snake was, as usual, calm and smug. The door slid closed. Junpei's forehead furrowed as he thought.
That meant the number for the mysterious bracelet was 6. But how could it be 6?
The display on the bracelet clearly showed a 0. Suddenly, from somewhere far beneath them, they heard the creak and groan of tearing metal. With it came the sound of water pouring into parts of the ship that had, until recently, been dry.
Aw, man, that's not good. I guess our time's just about up, huh? At any rate, we now know that the door can be opened. Let's go. But, Snake, are you sure? Yeah. You know that only Junpei and I can go through this way. You needn't worry. I have a solution to this problem. My last resort, but if now is not the time for the last resorts, then when? Last... resort?
What's he gonna do? Junpei, 7, and Snake ran full tilt down a long, straight hallway. They were headed for the stern of the ship and had no time for distraction. Sorry, I derped on that. As they ran, 7 spoke.
Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. I couldn't figure out how the hell you were gonna get out of that one.
Hey, Remix.
How come you didn't do that right off the bat? As I told you, it was a last resort. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I would have come under a great deal of suspicion. I imagine most people would have taken it to mean that I was 0. Once they'd convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making it out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it best to play my cards close to the chest, as it were. That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve. I'd just take my bracelet off.
Snake's plan had been simple but effective. He'd simply removed his bracelet. How? To Junpei it had looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hand until they were small enough to fit through the wristband. Of course, that would have been practically impossible, so how had he done it? My brother's left arm is, it's not like a normal person's arm. It's fake. It's not a real arm. Snake had slid the bracelet off and tossed it into the coffin. With it gone, he'd had little to fear from the numbered doors. He'd walked through the door easily, without authenticating. He stepped out to the other side unscathed and began running down the hall alongside 7 and Junpei. Yeah, actually, I was saying I wrote to Bandai, I wrote on a message they had posted. And I said, oh, I wish the collector's edition was available in Canada right now. And then somebody responded with, it's up on Amazon right now. So I went and I pre-ordered it. I'm still gonna look for it at GameStop though, just in case something happens with Amazon. But nothing should go wrong. I have my collector's edition pre-ordered with Amazon, so I'm very excited. And then they messaged me recently saying they changed it to same-day delivery, like release date delivery at no charge. So I'm really excited for that. They kept running for a while longer and eventually came upon a set of stairs leading downward on the right side of the hallway. They stopped and peered down the staircase. As far as they could tell, it went all the way to the bottom deck. There didn't seem to be any flooding. They nodded quickly to one another and jogged down the stairs. It took only a few minutes to make their way to the bottom deck. There was a single hallway in front of them, at the end of which was a single door. Not available in Europe. It was available in Europe first, Bal. And it probably sold out because you didn't get to it quick enough. I'm pretty sure Europe was one of the first places to get the limited edition to pre-order. So Junpei threw open the door. Inside was a massive iron gate. A plate was affixed to the top of it. Whoa, incinerator. It read incinerator. Incinerator? I just said that word like 4 times now. Oh my, that doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps? Yeah, right over here. How'd you know that? Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so. Ugh. Junpei grumbled, gave Snake a dirty look, and jogged over to the lever. If you pull it, the door ought to open. Got it. He pulled the lever down. No, it was available in Europe first, Bal. I think it's just sold out where you guys are. With the rumble of an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back, and no time to hesitate. They pushed their way inside. It said it wasn't what? I saw quite a few European websites and stuff were announcing the collector's edition first before it was even announced here. And I was even debating pre-ordering a European version just to get the collector's edition, but it was sold out. So but yeah. Uh-oh. Ace still held the revolver in his hand. It was still pressed hard against Lotus's temple. A small, dark bruise had begun to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. She was terrified. But perhaps more interesting was what Junpei saw behind them. Whoa. 9. It was unavailable? Yeah, it's probably sold out. That's crazy, though. Another number 9 door. But why? Why was there another one? The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. Trust me, out of all Tales games that I've pre-ordered and stuff before, Zestiria is one of the first that I've seen that is disappearing very quickly with the collector's edition. That's why I was so emotional about getting one, and I felt like I was going to cry if I didn't. I'm still kind of in that state until it's physically in my hands on October 20th. I'm still a little bit troubled until I actually get it. Means a lot to me. There's only very certain There's only very certain video games I really want the collector's editions for, and the Tales of series is one of them. I haven't collected the collectors for long. Obviously, I've missed out on. No, because there hadn't been a Tales in a while, and then Exilia came out, and I got the collectors for that. Then I have the Exilia 2 collectors, and then I have the Symphonia collectors as well. Yeah, it's been a while, right, since they released those. The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As his brain finally began to consider why, the whine of a warning klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought. Yeah, this game is like people are super hyped for Zestiria, I guess, because it's crazy. Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately.
Oh my, how exciting. You've run quite a show here, Zero.
A terrifying smile twisted Ace's face.
What's the matter? Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain.
Oh, Zero escaped, not Tails. Oh, jeez, how did we miss that one? All I saw was ZE, and I was like, Zestiria! That makes more sense. Zero escaped 3. Jeez. They're too close in letters, Belle. You can't blame us. We're hyped for Zestiria. Wait, so... Yeah, it does. Zestiria has an awesome opening. I know some people don't like it, but I like it. So, bah. Zero Escape 3. But if it comes out on a Sony console, then you might be good, because Sony doesn't really region lock. So then you'd be able to play it, right? 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 I wasn't looking at the 3. Like I said. Just saw ZE and I was like, Zestiria! Anyways.
Here, let me explain.
Oh god, yes. Exilia's opening? Yeah. Exilia and Exilia 2, I think for me, those are tied as my favorites, I think. I gotta watch them again, but I got so hyped with both of those openings. It's on 3DS and Vita. So then you could always get it for the Vita. Maybe, if that's an option.
It's said that the incineration system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flame. Huh? Who are you? You don't recognize me? I'm hurt. It's me, Snake. Snake? Ah, yes, you are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre style had me confused. I'm quite glad to see that you're alive.
Hysteria for Zestiria. Yeah! I know, me too. Excited for Zero Escape 3. I mean, I haven't beaten number 2. I haven't beaten Virtue's Last Reward, but I'm still excited. I do like this series. Ace's voice didn't change. Snake ground his teeth.
If you don't mind my asking, how'd you get here? Snake, Junpei, 7, the 3 of you couldn't have opened a door with a 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps?
Oh no! Ace, shut up!
What?
Oh god, he let it spill.
Ah, well, your reaction suggests that you did not. Hold on. Why did you think we'd have Clover's bracelet?
Junpei felt his chest tighten.
Oh, they haven't told you? Told me what? Clearly not. Normally I would take some time and enjoy the moment, but I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I'll have to make this quick. Clover? Don't do it, Ace! Keep your goddamn mouth shut! Clover? I said stop it! Don't listen to him, Snake!
Junpei could feel his voice going hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him.
What happened to Clover?
Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled into the hook of a cruel smile.
Clover died.
The color left Snake's face. He shook his head weakly.
No, that's not true. That's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie. Oh, it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see. What? I'm sorry, did I stutter? I killed her.
Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, mottled red rising to dot his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked to Junpei disturbingly like a demon.
I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle with the knife. The one the ninth man had, you remember? I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft. My knife slid in so easily, there was no resistance. That feeling was... I confess, I feel rather excited. It is a powerful memory. Someday, perhaps, I hope I can feel it again.
Incineration will begin in 7 minutes.
I'm going to kill you.
Snake's words were a guttural growl, barely audible.
I'm sorry, what? I'm going to kill you. Ah, so you're going to kill me. Please do. Come now, I'm waiting.
Don't do it! Don't listen to him, Snake!
Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head. Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister?
Don't! Snake!
Don't do it!
But Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. His scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair. Snake!
Snake!
Oh no. Scream. Another scream filled the room. Sorry. It was Lotus. I would have screamed, but it's probably too intense for that. She ran across the room toward Junpei, her eyes wide with terror. Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her, and she'd made a run for it. She reached Seven and Junpei and ducked behind them. Junpei could feel her fingers on his arm, tight enough to be painful, keeping him between her and Ace. Incineration will begin in 5 minutes.
Give me the woman.
He raised the gun.
I need her. Without her bracelet, I'll be unable to open this door. Quickly now. I don't have time for your shenanigans.
In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. He looked like a human larva, prone and vulnerable on the floor.
I see. Then it would seem I have no choice. The rest of you must die as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of idiotic man you call Seven. I'll take Lotus's body with me and leave this room.
Incineration will begin in 4 minutes.
Well, looks as though our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you. Goodbye.
Junpei could see Ace's finger tighten. He could see it begin to squeeze down on the trigger. His body tensed, preparing for the catastrophic impact of hot lead against human flesh. Then it happened. Snake stood up.
What? No, that's impossible!
For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward, 1 step closer to Ace, then another. He looked for all the world like a zombie.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
His voice was the mournful wailing of the undead.
Stay away from me! Get back! Stop! If you come any closer, I'll... Get away from me!
Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. He continued his stiff, inexorable approach, his eyes twin pools of pure fury.
Listen to me! I said don't come any closer! Shit! You bastard!
Oh my god. Ace's revolver leapt 5 times. 5 times the air in the incinerator was split by the crack of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt into the air across his body. A fine pink mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Snake made a strange sort of choking cough. And then his strength was gone. His legs crumbled and his broken and battered body slid to the floor. Incineration will begin in 3 minutes. But Snake wasn't done. Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid toward Ace. 1 bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg, and the other gripped his thigh with strength that should have been long gone.
You son of a bitch! You're a monster! Get off of me! Let me go! Damn you!
He kicked at Snake with his free leg, driving his foot into Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake has ensnared its prey, rarely does it release it.
This is it, Ace! We're going to burn to death together. What?
Incineration will begin in 2 minutes.
Ah! Damn it! Damn you! Get off! Let me go, you monster! Okay, look. Think about it this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors. You're not wounded too seriously. I'm sure they could fix you up easily. You don't have to die. You could be saved! Just let me go! Pathetic. Begging for your life.
Then Seven and Lotus began to speak. Junpei could hear tears in their voices and their words were strained.
Snake, that's enough! You can stop now!
Yes, he's right, Snake! You've done enough!
Come on, Snake, let go! Let's get out of here!
You have to come with us! We have to leave together! Snake turned toward them. He coughed and blood splattered across the floor. Then he smiled, a sad sort of smile.
I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You'd best forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm going to take him with me. Shut up! Be quiet! I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife she can forgive me. Now go! Go now! You have to go!
Incineration will begin in 1 minute.
God damn it! Shit! We're out of time! We have to go!
Seven ran toward the exit. Lotus followed him. But Junpei couldn't move. There were white lines down Snake's cheeks where his tears had washed the blood away. He was broken, body and soul, and Junpei felt as though half of his own heart had been torn out. His eyes stung, and he tried desperately to swallow to clear the lump in his throat.
Junpei, what are you doing? You have to get out of here now!
Junpei's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and a cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart, alongside the torrent of blood. He could feel it building, a tremendous wave growing taller and taller and taller. Oh no, Vis, I knew you would! And then it broke, crashing down with thunderous force onto his shaken, unprepared mind. Snake! Snake! Okay, but seriously? That reminded me of Metal Gear Solid. Snake! Junpei's rational mind was gone. He was driven by instinct now, and he launched himself across the floor at Snake and Ace. Or he tried to.
Wait! Don't be an idiot, Junpei!
He felt a hand grab him from behind. It was Seven. Before he had time to react, the larger man had pinned Junpei's arms to his sides and was hauling him bodily back toward the door.
No! No! I have to help Snake! 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 Get off of me! Let me go!
Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 7, 6.
Damn it, I don't got a choice, kid! Don't blame me for this, alright?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I think the door stuttered a little bit there. I can't talk. Gates 2 and 3 are locked down, beginning incineration. Junpei felt Seven's fist bury itself deep in his stomach, and then his legs turned to mush. Seven scooped him up in the same motion and leapt through the door. It slammed shut behind them. Junpei struggled to shaky feet. He glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door. There was a small window cut into it. You don't want to look through that, Junpei. Inside, he could see Ace and Snake.
Shit! Damn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this! Answer me! Answer me, Zero! Why? Why? Zero! Zero!
Shh, old man, shh. You will be barbecued now, shh.
Zero!
That was intense. Jeez. I need water. He didn't know how much time passed. He didn't know how long he stood there in front of the incinerator. He looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, and if not for the hand she'd put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old and tired and used. His eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing. Junpei said nothing. He simply began to walk toward the open door and the hallway they'd come down earlier.
Hey! Wait, Junpei!
Junpei, where are you going? He blinked when their voices broke the silence. He stopped.
You stay here. I'll go get Santa and June. You're gonna bring them here?
How?
Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait. Alright?
He began to walk again. He looked over his shoulder and watched Seven and Lotus grow smaller and smaller. They stared back, not moving. He wasn't sure if they could. He turned around again. He knew where he was going. When they'd walked through the hallway earlier, he'd noticed an elevator at the end of the side hallway. If it still worked, then maybe... Ah, very funny, this. You need water, what about Ace? Oh gosh. Terrible. Before long, Junpei found himself in front of the elevator. Next to the door was a button with a triangle on it. He pushed it, and the door opened. Junpei was in the large hospital room.
June! Santa!
He kept calling and walked to the center of the room. But try as he might, he couldn't find them.
Ugh. Damn it! Where did they go?
Increasingly frustrated and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. He would have to look for them. Junpei's heart was heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling, but there was a part of him that felt it would be wrong to, even if he could. With every step he took, his legs felt more and more like lead. He is looking everywhere, huh? Sometime later, Junpei found himself at the chapel. He stepped inside, expecting to find nothing, but there, on the red carpet in the center of the room... June! No codenames didn't matter any longer. She was Connie. Connie! Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning, he ran across the room toward her.
Oh man! Connie!
He stumbled to a stop. As he looked down at her body, lying so still on the floor, he felt the icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still, so very still. No, it couldn't be. It was impossible. Slowly, Junpei bent down toward her. His hands shook, and he felt very cold and very hot at the same time. He forced himself to look. Her back was moving. Slowly, it rose and fell. Relief washed over him.
Connie!
Junpei reached down and gently, very gently, lifted her up.
Connie! Connie! Are you alright?
Junpei... Her face was pale and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arm around her back. She was cold. Very cold. Junpei tried to convince himself that it was only his imagination, but she felt as though she were fading away. He could feel his heart pounding frantically in his chest.
Oh man, Connie, what the hell happened to you? You feel...
Junpei, I'm sorry. Her voice was very faint. I might not make it.
No way! No way am I gonna let you die. I'm gonna save you, I promise.
Thank you, Junpei. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Junpei. Really happy.
Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You've You've just gotta hang on, alright, Connie?
Junpei, did you know you meant a lot to me when we were kids? I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time.
Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame. He looked down at Akane. Game over. There was a crack of static from above his head, and a voice spoke. 0. You son of a bitch! Where are you hiding? Junpei frantically scanned the ceiling for the source of the voice. I'm right here. I've always been close to you. What the hell are you talking about? No matter. I'll tell you again. Game over. This game has ended. No, it hasn't! I'm not gonna let it end yet. I'm gonna get out of here with Connie. You can't. That's impossible. Why? Because you chose the wrong path. The wrong path? That is correct. Your path was inevitable, however. Admit defeat. Where there is shadow, there is light. Where there is light, there is shadow. So it goes. What are you talking about? It matters not. The loser has been decided. I told you I'm not gonna lose. No, you misunderstand. You haven't lost. I have lost. What? Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. He heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it 0? Connie, wait here! I'll be right back, I promise. She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her back down gently and leapt for the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. No one. The hall was empty. There was nothing moving anywhere. Damn it! He didn't want to leave Connie alone any longer than he had to, so Junpei turned around and headed back to the chapel. Connie? She wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying there on the floor just moments before, and now she was gone. Oh God. No. No! Where is she? Connie? Connie? Connie! Connie! His cries split the heavens themselves. How do you know? How do you know they did? He screamed until his voice gave out. Then he screamed some more. But there was nothing. No answer. His voice faded away, and all that remained was cold, unfeeling silence. That was when he noticed it. A strange smell, one he'd smelled before. Uh-oh. The smell of a peculiar white smoke. 9 seconds later, Junpei's mind winked out. Oh my God! We did it! Now we've got one more ending! One more door, I guess, and one more ending, because you guys want to see door 3, right? Frank Bow! Woo! So, are you excited to see how it all goes down now? This is it! We're heading in the last stretch. It's a long stretch, though, so I almost want to see if I have to go eat dinner. If dinner's ready, I will go do that. And then when I know we're running a bit weirdly on the schedule today. I know I usually finish 999 by now and then come back to a different game. But I think after dinner, we will... I did say we'd finish this game today, and I did promise a few of you that I would do both endings tonight. So I will do the other endings so we can wrap this up. And then we can continue playing... Persona 3 Portable and Tales of Hearts R and stuff, but I did promise I would beat this tonight, and I plan to stick to that. I'm just gonna need to stay hydrated, though, because... Phew! My voice, I could kind of feel it in my throat a little bit from all that yelling and all that stuff. I can kind of feel it a little bit, so I gotta stay hydrated. My Arizona finished a while ago. That was insane, right? So now, you have to remember sometimes some of those endings aren't canon, and some of them are. So it's difficult, but you have to take the information you learn from each ending and kind of put it together. The end? Or is it? It's not.
We're going for the last ending, guys, and this is it. Like, everything you learn in this ending, take it and store it, because this is we're going for the true ending now, okay? So it's going to be huge. It's going to be a really long ending, too. If you thought this was pretty lengthy for an ending, that was the safe ending, by the way. If you thought that was long, I'm pretty sure this ending, the true ending, is humongous. Because I remember playing through it myself, and I got tired of reading after a while. I think I had to take a break from it. Take it all in. Would you like to keep? Yes, I would like to keep. Long stretch and dinner. I know it's a very long. It's gonna be a very long ending, for sure. Let me go check on that. Let me go see how that's doing, and then I can start with the. We can go towards the. Well, know that the only part that's going to be lengthy is the ending itself, because remember, we're going to get to skip through everything I've already done, except for door 3. I'm going to show you guys door 3, and then we're going to reload. So remind me to save. No. Remind me to save when we get to, I'm going to keep it on this screen. Remind me to save when we get to the, there it is, all the different endings. When we get to the door 3 choice, and then we will choose that, and then I'll reload, and then we'll do that. But let me go check really quick if I'm going to be eating now or not, because that's important. Oh, 1 sec. Okay, so, sorry about that. I think I... Huh? What are you guys talking about? Oh. What are you guys talking about? I think I should probably go eat. And then probably come back. And continue this? What do you think? So yeah, if you want, keep it here. So like I said, we're going a little over time today with what do you call it? With 999, but we are going to finish it today. There's one last ending, so we're going to go for it. Right after I eat. I'll try and eat as quick as I can. Thanks, Neo, but I feel like the welcome back is going to be extended because then I'm going again to eat. Hey, Flames! I did the wave thing again. Damn it, I'm always waving at my computer screen. When you guys show up, I'm always like, hey! Wave's hand! Yeah, so I think I'm going to go eat and then come back and we will finish up 999. 999. I was saying I think I will go eat. And, and May's laughing at me. Because I wave at my computer screen. Yeah, I think I will go eat. And then come back and finish 999 and then play Akihiko Portable and Tales of Hearts R and all that. If I can, hopefully I can fit it all in. I mean, by the time we breeze through all the text we've already been through, I think we should be okay, but yeah. Ooh, I shall. I get more fried squid. I love fried squid. I just love squid. I'm eating reapers. Nom nom nom. I'm a hardcore shepherd. Eating reapers. I eat reapers for dinner. I would say for breakfast, but you know, it's not really true. So, yeah. Sorry. I'm getting distracted by things. That's what I'm doing. At the food. Okay, so I think I'm gonna just put the stream offline. So that's what I mean. If you want to continue watching, either stick around or something, and then you'll see it come back online, yada yada yada. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat really quick. If anybody pops in, just let them know. We will be continuing. Well, I don't think they'll ask questions. But if they do, you know what to say. She's gone to eat the food, and then she's gonna come back and beat the game. And that's what you tell them. In that exact voice, in that exact way. Hey, Shadow! Sorry, you caught me at dinner time, but I will be back to finish up 999. So I'm gonna change the title for last ending. Wow. I'm gonna change that for when I come back. Changes saved. Okay. Well, you know what? The Reapers look like squids to me, so there you go. So I'm gonna go eat some Reapers. Yeah. Yeah. Take that, Harbinger. You are the fried squiddy goodness on my dinner plate. Harbinger. Okay, I'm just wasting time now. Okay, I'll be right back. Sorry. And I'll try and eat quick. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. I said okay like 60 times. Okay.